What if I told you that the fastest way to make something irresistible is to tell your brain it can't have it? Seriously, you could be totally fine one day, minding your own business, and then the moment something becomes unavailable, a person, an opportunity, even a stupid limited edition hoodie, your brain suddenly goes, "Nope, now I need it." That's not romance, that's psychology. We don't just fall in love with people. We fall in love with distance, mystery, and the chase. Think about it. Someone texts you back instantly, cool. Someone takes 12 hours to reply, suddenly you're replaying every word you sent like it's a crime investigation. Your brain is wild like that. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The human brain is wired to want what feels just out of reach. Not too far, just far enough to keep hope alive, because hope is addictive. When something is available, your brain relaxes. When something is unavailable, your brain activates problem-solving mode. And when the problem is a person, congratulations, you're now emotionally invested. This is called scarcity effect. When something feels rare, limited, or restricted, your brain assigns it higher value, not because it's better, but because it's harder to get. That's why limited time offer works. That's why sold-out concerts feel legendary. And yes, that's why emotionally unavailable people seem weirdly attractive. Your brain mistakes difficulty for value. Let's bring this to real life. Ever notice how someone becomes way more attractive right after they say, "I'm not looking for anything serious"? 5 minutes ago, you were chill. Now your brain is like, "But what if I'm the exception?" Congratulations, you're hooked. Another reason we fall for what we can't have is ego. Rejection pokes the ego, and the ego hates losing. So instead of thinking, "Maybe this isn't right for me," the brain flips the script to, "I'll prove my worth." Now it's not about love, it's about winning. This is why people chase emotionally distant partners. The inconsistency creates emotional spikes. One day they're warm, the next day cold. Your brain doesn't know what to expect, so it pays more attention. And attention turns into attachment. It's the same reason slot machines are addictive. You don't win every time, you win just enough to keep pulling the lever. Romantic, right? Another sneaky reason, we romanticize the unknown. When we don't fully have someone, we fill in the gaps with imagination. We project our best fantasies onto them. You're not in love with the person, you're in love with the version of them your brain created. That version never forgets your birthday, always understands you, and somehow looks good from every angle. Reality could never compete with that. And here's a funny example. Think about that one crush you had years ago who barely noticed you. At the time, obsession. Years later, you see them again and think, "Wait, I liked this?" That wasn't love, that was mystery doing cardio in your brain. Now let's talk about control, or the lack of it. When you can't have something, it reminds you that you don't control the outcome, and humans hate that feeling. So we chase harder, hoping effort will create certainty. Spoiler? It doesn't. The chase feels exciting, but it's also exhausting because you're constantly trying to earn what should be freely given. Here's the part most people don't like hearing. Healthy love doesn't feel like anxiety. If someone makes you feel confused more than calm, obsessed more than safe, energized one day and drained the next, that's not chemistry. That's your nervous system being played like a DJ set. Real attraction grows in clarity, not confusion. So why do we keep falling for what we can't have? Because our brain confuses intensity with intimacy. Because scarcity feels valuable. Because the ego wants to win. Because mystery feels magical. And because sometimes chasing feels easier than being truly seen. But here's the twist. The moment something becomes truly available, consistent, present, emotionally open, your brain might feel bored at first. Not because it's wrong, but because peace doesn't trigger alarms, and alarms is what your brain got used to. So next time you feel yourself falling hard for someone who's just out of reach, pause and ask, do I actually want this person, or do I want the feeling of wanting them? Because one leads to connection, and the other leads to a loop you've already lived in before. Sometimes the most attractive thing isn't what runs away from you, it's what stays.